Don't know what that was about. Anyway, been a minute. Yes, I know. And I was asked to make this video, so I am obliging my friend Jerry. So, as always, if you can like it, you can share it. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Never take the light of truth and place it under a basket. So, why am I here? Some of you may be familiar with the Georgia Republican Assembly. One of the major players in that group is a friend of mine by the name of Alex Johnson. In fact, he, along with Catherine Bernard, another good friend of mine, are why I got involved in the first place. So I want to talk about a couple of things and get you to understand why I entered that race. All right. So when I first ran for office, one of the things that was told to me back then by the establishment Republican creeps, basically, no matter how bad a guy's record is, if he wins the primary, all Republicans must get behind that individual. That was rule number one. Rule number two, never talk about a fellow Republican. Yes, I was told that. Number three, when I had the audacity to run for U.S. Senate, I was actually told to pick something further down the trough. It wasn't my time yet. These other guys have paid their dues. So, those were the three basic rules that I was given if I wanted to become an integral part of the GOP. So I go all the way back, getting involved actively with politics. I mean, beyond voting conservatively, to about 2011. And I think I ran in 2012. So you have some ground rules that they expect anybody that's going to, work within the Republican Party. And understand this, me being a Negro and coming into the DeKalb Republican GOP, it was like, oh, okay, we saved somebody. Let's prop him up. Oh, but if he wants to be a part of this thing, he's got to be willing to carry our water. Those were those three rules that I had to follow. So you understand where I'm coming from? So fast forward all the way down through the state GOP, the Georgia GOP. I mean, I experienced all kind of things. So what ended up happening, I realized, you know what? This organization is all about Republicans. If you would have witnessed the shenanigans that went on with Mitt Romney, where they were saying we won't endorse anybody that has endorsed a particular bill, I forget what bill it was, about Mitt Romney or support for somebody or whatever the case may be, then we will not endorse them. We will not get behind them. And when they realized that Mitt Romney had done that, they changed the rules just so that they could get behind Mitt Romney and there not be anything amiss in those declarations that they made. I remember all of that. Now, this was the Georgia GOP. So way back then, I started talking about rhinos. Now you hear everybody talking about it. And that was one of those cardinal rules that I broke. Okay? You just don't do that. Not if you want to carry water for us. And that's when I became a pariah to the establishment GOP. Look, I need to tell you all of this so that you understand what's going on, okay? The establishment don't give a damn about the person's record as long as they play ball so that both the Democrats and the Republicans do to us what it is they want to do. That's the point that I wanted to make first. The next point, having people that you think are fighting for you, even, and this may as well be a cliche coming from me, even the owners of football teams, baseball teams, basketball teams will fire a coach. I don't give a damn about how good of a guy they are. They will fire them if they aren't a winning coach. And what is a winning coach? You come home with more victories than you do losses. You go for the goal. You go for the championship. That's what it's all about. Now, I am 61 years old, and I said this last night in the debate forum, well, it wasn't really a debate, but the candidate forum. I said, if nothing changes, what good is it? Because when somebody found out that I was running, they actually reached out to me, sent me a Facebook friend request. I'm in Facebook jail, by the way, and wanted to ask me some questions about why I was running against this particular guy. And I'm going to get to why I'm running in just a minute. Still got to set up the groundwork. And one of the things that came out of his conversation was, you know, sometimes you have to compromise. Well, understand something. I said back then, I will not compromise by supporting anyone in order to get a win because that person has an R by their name. If there is a proven record of them compromising away your rights or mine, they will not get my support. And I have heard within the Republican Party for so long, never heard that from the Democrat Party, but within the Republican Party, well, you know, it was the lesser of evils. Forgive me, but I am about to curse, and God forgive me in advance, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. Bullshit. Evil is evil, no matter the amount. So if you accept any amount of it, you ain't worth a damn. I'm sorry, but that is just it. God said that, and God trumps anything that man may tell you about the lesser of evil being acceptable. It is not. I used to believe like that in politics until I saw behind the curtain. No longer. I didn't think it existed there. Hell, I'm a preacher. I didn't think it existed behind the pulpit, but it does. Oh boy, could I tell you some stories? But I digress. So those are the first 2 points that I want to make to you. You got rules, all right? And then they expect you, just because there's an R beside the person's name or because they're a good guy. I used to have a term for it that Barbie Dunn and I used to always talk about, my guy syndrome. Yes, if you follow me all the way back to those days, you know what I'm talking about when I say my guy syndrome. So we don't expect rhinos to go in and give us, well, I don't expect them to go in and bring me home a win. I expect them to play the game. And when they're told to vote with the Democrats, they will vote with the Democrats. I had a graphic that I had put together called the Circle of Loop. What is a Circle of Loop? Hey, no matter who wins, Republican or Democrat, you always lose and they always win. And that is what has been happening. So what's the next point? When has that changed? One man. A lot of people don't want to admit it because you got your never Trumpers, you got your Trump haters, and obviously Democrats. But Trump made changes that stopped some stuff. And me being 61, I hadn't seen it, and I don't know when. And one of the points I brought up in the forum last night was this. Even though I haven't seen any of those wins, when Trump got in, I saw more Negroes jump over to support Trump than I have in 61 years. And probably before my life, no one had seen it since 1901 when we had the last black Southern senator. Do some research, all right? And of course, later on, we all started making that shift over to the Democrat Party because of some things that FDR did later on. But I digress again. So we have rhinos that go in, they don't bring home the gold. And we have guys like Rand Paul, Ron Paul before him. And what was brought up to me in that conversation from that phone call I was telling you about was a guy named Matt Gertler. What is it that they say? Man, they up there fighting for us. But you know what turned me off with Rand Paul was when I saw him say, basically in a campaign ad, donate so that I can continue to fight the likes of Fauci. So here's my question that I would like to see asked. Now, it's one thing when you get on the bully pulpit, but don't really make the effort to educate the people, because I say when people see the truth, they will do something different. But by and large, we don't see that happening. Why? Because people don't name names. So I would ask Rand Paul, what have you done to stop Fauci thus far? The answer is nothing. Absolutely nothing. Fauci is going full steam ahead. And while Joe Biden is out here talking about, I call him segregation, Jim Crow Joe, is out here talking about, well, there will be no more new mandates or I'm getting tongue twisted. There will be no new mandates and no more shutdowns. Until when? Until Fauci says so? Until your handlers say so? Until Big Pharma, who is interested in having people take a vaccine, something that the government will pay for now, until they start charging you for it, once everybody is acclimated to the new dominion over their bodies. When, Joe? Huh? Am I to believe you? The man has lied about everything. And I know everybody used to say, well, Trump lied about this. Trump lied. Well, you can see Joe Biden's lies in legislation. So, again, I have digressed. So, these people that are in, that win, that get in office, what do they do for you? Matt Gertler fought. But did anything under the gold dome change? Hell no. Trump, I warned everybody, hey, look, something is wrong. 45 Republicans quit after Donald Trump win. We would have had both the House and Senate, but they was trying to give it up. They gave away the House, held on to the Senate, but you know, what good is that? So where are we now? I say Donald Trump doing everything by executive order as soon as somebody else get in, and I saw that when the pandemic, the scandemic got started. I said this whole pandemic is about one man, our economy, and one election. I said that repeatedly for weeks, going all the way back to March of 2020. What happened? Trump won, but Trump didn't get to take office. All right, we all know why. And if I got to tell you that, then you haven't been keeping up. And first thing Joe Biden did when he got in office was to sign the executive orders that William Barr already had prepared to undo everything that Donald Trump had done. It was not lasting. That is why you do things legislatively and you don't depend on executive orders for these serious matters unless, of course, it is a state of emergency. At any rate, I have digressed again. So what did these people change? Nothing. And the guy talking to me, asking me, well, look, man, you know, you want to go in the room and you want to make a difference. I want to do more than make a difference. I want to go in the room and change the room. I don't want to go in and maybe replace a vase inside the room. Big deal. I don't want to go in and change a painting for one that matches the color of the walls. If the walls in the room are blue when I leave, I want them to be green. For go. Get up and go. Get up and go, Johnny. You remember that song? Get up and go, Daddy. Anyway, I'm getting off the beaten path. And I know I'm making this a longer video than I intended. I'm going to try and stop at 15 minutes. So, these people go in, but they do not change the room. I suspect because they are not willing to give up all, sacrifice all, to let the people know what's actually going on. Who do I know that did do that? Julian Assange, and Edward Snowden. All right, I'm not going to get all off into that again, because most of you wouldn't understand where I'm coming from, even if I did. So, the room has not been changing. Ergo, I get a phone call asking me, Derrick, are you out? Are you still in? Are you doing anything else? Have you given up the fight? The answer is no. Well, would you consider running for the first vice president of the Georgia Republican Assembly? But I want to get your feel for what you think about them first. And I said, well, I have come to see them. And this is no reflection on Alex or Catherine, whom I consider good friends. So I just want to put that out there. But the organization, I have come to see it as an organization that is not much unlike the Georgia GOP. When I started getting emails supporting known rhinos, known globalists, I said I'm done. So the last time I participated in anything was in 2019. Well, you know, that was it. Because I didn't see anything different happening there. The same thing with the CAB GOP, certainly the state GOP, And the GRA, I volunteered to help with education. Volunteered. Do you think anything came of it? Hell no. I volunteered to do outreach in the minority communities when it was a big thing then about the Republican Party claiming to be a big tent, but they don't reach out to everybody else. I volunteered to work with that. Do you think they got behind what they asked me to volunteer for? Hell no, because they weren't really interested. And when that issue died, it in the news, it died within the DeKalb GOP. These are the facts. Josie Cruz, the only Republican in the primary to run against Hank Johnson, got to run against Hank Johnson. Do you think she got support from the DeKalb GOP? Of any noteworthy consideration from the GRA, the DeKalb GOP, or the state GOP? Hell no. This is the nature of politics, people. So when I explained that to the individual that called me, well, good, because some things need to change in the GRA. There you go. Will you run? I said, yes. I never quit. I ran for U.S. Senate 3 times. Big races that everybody told me I would not win. That's fine. I did not win. In fact, I got creamed. But I mentioned last night in that debate forum, there were 6 or 7 Republicans running for that seat. Well, I was number 3 behind Loeffler and Collins, even though they got millions of votes and I only got about 60,000 votes. I got my votes because those are 60,000 people that I actually touched, because I didn't run one single television ad, one single attack ad, other than my flyers that I put out about Loeffler being a globalist and a hypocrite, and of Collins being a shield, rhino extraordinaire, who helped to give with Protection 230 those protections that social media giants got. Him along with Justin Amash. I talked about all of those things, but that was it. Never anything personal. It was about the proven facts that these people do not have your interests at heart. Now, I don't know any specifics about the problems within the GRA because I just admitted I had not participated. I had walked away from what I seen coming from the outside. I do not support rhinos. I don't give a damn if they got an R by their name. I am a staunch conservative, a member of the Republican Party, but I voted for a guy by the name of Dave. Last name escapes me, but he ran for governor here in Georgia. He's a libertarian. I voted for Amanda, a libertarian, a young lady that ran for the U.S. Senate seat after I lost in the primary. I vote for people based on their platform, character, and if they have a voting record, and Dave had a good one. So, in the city that he was mayor of, that is how I roll. If you're a bum, whether you're a Republican or not, you are not going to get my vote. And I have always said the power belongs with the people, not some individuals that get behind a room in a closed door where we know better, this is what we're going to do, and then when we're going to go out and tell them we're fighting for them, but the damn room ain't never changing. If you're not sick of that, I don't know what to tell you. I am sick of it. And so given this opportunity to step up and make a difference, I answered the call. Well, did you pray about it? Did God take? No, I didn't do any of that, because God already, you ever go to church and you see sometimes the same people always going down the altar call, always having to get it got again when they already got it the first time and it never left. Maybe it didn't stick. I don't know. God already told me any call for righteousness, you answer, unless I got you working on something else. Well, right now, I ain't doing anything else. Now, there are some people that want me to run in the 6th district against this black lady, Macbeth. For all intents and purposes, I'm told that she won, simply because of a tragedy that occurred in her life and not really any substance of platform. But other than teaching our children about sexual deviance and that they can be a non-binary or switch sexes, or teaching critical race theory that, whites are inferior to everyone else, or that they are evil, or, because of their character and how minorities were treated, this is what that is pretty much what critical race theory is. And if anybody has told you that we are not taught about slavery, I know I was. You are being deceived. So liberals, abortion, that government has any business in marriage whatsoever. Now, while I do not support same-sex marriage as a Christian, government ain't got no business in marriage, but everybody want them in there. And I watch a lot of science programs. I know I'm digressing, but give me a minute. I watch a lot of science programs. If you hear how they talk about life and how important and significant it is on other planets, and then look at what we do about a woman that has conceived a child, it would make you wonder about some things. It really would make you wonder about some things. But this is where we are today. So, under the many Republican tents that I have seen, what lacks is them understanding, and this is the last point that I made, that I'm going to make this morning. I'm a preacher. Now, I didn't give them anything. They asked other people about their professional background. That's one question they did not ask me. But I've been in technology all of my life. Actually, started law school. All right. But I love technology. That's what I do. I'm a computer engineer. Network engineer. All right. And I've been in this field for 30 years, programmer. But that is really irrelevant to my understanding of what constitutionality is and what good governance is all about. All right, I get that. But more importantly, I'm a Christian first. Now, the one question he did ask me, well, what did I think about integrity? Well, what the hell do you think integrity is? I really thought it was a dumb question. Really, I do. Integrity is a person, now whether good or bad, says something and does what he says. That means you can trust that person to do what they said they were going to do. That's integrity. But good moral character is something else. So what do we have with most of our politicians? One, they lack integrity because they're going to tell you they're going to do something and they go in and they do something completely different. Did you know I think this was the number I heard. We have a new bill that's getting ready to go to the Senate, already passed the House, where they're going to fund a vaccine database, and a large number of Republicans voted to fund it in the House. Have you heard about that? No, they aren't telling you that. Do you want them to, all the people that raised hell about them having a national gun registry? Okay, that's how you defend yourself, and now is the choices you make with your own body. This is what I'm talking about. This is what they are doing. So just because you're a Republican and you get in office, if you aren't going in and honoring your word to your constituents and obeying the Constitution, you have no integrity. None. Why should I get behind you because you have an R beside your name and you won the primary? Because that's the Republican way. And when I saw the GRA sending out their support and endorsement of people that I know are rhinos, I was done. So now I am running for this position. And I told them, because he asked me, what would I do? One, I'm going to do education. Because those 60,000 votes I got, that was because I educated some people. And I told them, if you want something different, do something different. And stop falling for the okie doke. Stop. Because nothing will ever change. And I believe, they said on the call, one of the candidates, I believe the GRA is, the way to serve, or to fix our problems. I'm paraphrasing. Not really. No. The people are the way to fix our problems. By educating them. See, a leader stands up first, starts doing the right thing, and then other people will stand up with him and start doing it too, because they are seeing something different. Now they're going to do something different. And the power rests with the people. It does not rest with those people sitting behind those closed doors. And I made the statement, I'm a preacher, and I believe in servant leadership, servant first leadership. Go back and read about Jesus and Peter not wanting to wash his feet because, a servant shouldn't be. And Jesus, the man, step off. You don't even understand what this is about. So when you go to Washington, D.C., you don't go to lead people, you go to serve the people. Because the people are the ones that should be determining the course of this nation. Balanced by the Constitution. So just because 60% of the government, 60% of the people might want preachers to be forced to marry gay people, our First Amendment protects us from that. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Religious freedom? Huh? Do you get that? But that is what people think. So I know I've gone all the way around the bush to tell you one thing. I don't support rhinos, period. And if you elect me, understand I'm not playing nice with people who support rhinos. Yes, I will tell them to piss off if they tell me this is what I've got to do to be a good team player. And yes, somebody actually said that to me about you must get behind whoever wins the primary or you aren't a good team player. Yeah, I was told that by someone in leadership in the Republican Party. So I don't get down like that. And, if God sees fit for me to be able to connect with those people on Saturday and get them to cast their vote for me, the GRA will be seen in the minority communities. The people within the party will know, within the GRA, will know what's going on behind closed doors, because I won't keep it a secret. I'm going to tell them. All I have ever said I needed was the bullhorn. Donald Trump had that big bullhorn. And I'll close with this. Donald Trump got in, unlike any other politician, did not play politics. Some called him childish. Well, that's your interpretation of what took place. I called it pulling no punches. He gave as good as he got. He got attacked. He attacked back. But Donald Trump was changing the room. He was changing the room. Albeit he only got 3 major pieces of legislation and I passed, and I talked about that. Taxation, the criminal justice reform bill that Joe Biden and Bill Clinton brought to us, and doing something on trade, particularly addressing the issues with China. He changed the room. He was overturning the money changers' tables. And that's when they decided this man has got to go. Both Democrats and rhinos wanted him gone. And he got gone. Now he is mounting, I'm losing my voice and I'm going to shut up. He's mounting an attack against all rhinos to primary them. But you know what? A group of people along with myself, we already had came up with that. We were doing a show called The Roundtable. And it was about the Constitutional Coalition, a group of like-minded individuals who believed in conservatism and constitutional governance were going to form a coalition of conservatives to run against rhinos. But nobody was getting behind it because it breaks one of those cardinal rules. And that is, you can't talk about establishment Republicans. But Donald Trump doesn't belong to that club. So he's got a bigger bullhorn than we did. And I wish him all the success in the world. Team out. Drive time till next time. I have talked to you guys for 29 minutes and 54 seconds. The election is tomorrow. Go to the Georgia Republican Assembly. Just Google it, check it out, and if you can help out, help out. I encourage you to become a member. Period. Good night.